Hey everybody, welcome to the Gamble Smart channel. My name is Mark. I am a slot technician and also a gambler just like you guys. So today we're talking about what you should be doing before you get to the casino. You are creating a plan, right? God, I hope so. I hope you're not just going in there being reckless, all right? That's how you lose money. So we're going to talk about how and what you should be doing before you go into the casino. And then a little later on in the video, we're going to talk about what to do when you're there and then how to walk away. Okay, a lot of important stuff in this video. Maybe something you might want to bookmark for later, just so you can have a refresher before going in the casino. We are here to help you become better gamblers. Let's get going. All right, number one is the obvious one. How much money should I bring to the casino? I don't know. I don't know your financial situation. But here are some tips that you should consider before deciding how much. Treat it like an entertainment budget. Going away on a weekend holiday, going to a show, going to an event, something like that. You need to be comfortable with that money being spent and not coming back with any, okay? Because that is the reality of gambling sometimes, and you got to be fully aware of that and expect that. So, like Dave says, if you can set the money on fire, then that's okay. That's the money you should bring to the casino. Don't ever, ever pull money out that is used for future bills, mortgage payments, alimony. You know who you are. God, I hope not. But listen, only go with the money that you can comfortably afford to lose. That is key number one. All right, let's get on to the second one. All right, number two is you need to determine what your walkaway limit is, okay? Don't always treat it as zero, okay? A lot of people go in, I'm bringing $300, I'm gonna play 300, and I'm just gonna keep playing until I get to zero. That's not a good plan, guys. That's a terrible plan. Maybe put something in place where you say, if I get down to $100, I'm just gonna leave and walk away with something, okay? Walking away with something is gonna make that drive back home a whole lot easier, believe me, okay? It's a lot more difficult when you're driving home and you're like, oh man, that $300 is gone in 15 minutes. What was I thinking? Oh, well, I'll go back tomorrow and do it again. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Try to put a stop limit if you can. So say 300, if I'm not feeling it, when I get down to $100, I'm just gonna leave. Okay, so set those limits before you enter the casino. This is not something you do when you're at the machines playing, because this can be very difficult to change once you're in front of the casino, slot machines and table games and everything else. It is hard to make changes to your plan, okay? There are some exceptions, and we'll talk about that later in this video, but when it comes to your base core plan, which is how much money to bring and what your start and stop limits are, this is something you need to decide before you step foot in that casino. All right, let's get on to the next one. All right, number three is which casino should you go to? Sometimes you have a lot of options. It gets very difficult to figure out which one to go to. So sometimes you don't have a choice, right? It's at a local casino. It's the only one within driving distance. We're not talking to you guys. That's the one you're going to go to. But if you do have a choice, here's what we recommend. Look for the one that has the games that you want to play, okay? How do you know this? Well, look on their website. A lot of them do actually have slot finders on their website, and some will even tell you exact location of where they're located on the casino floor. But if not, feel free to give them a call. Call them up. Say, I'd like to speak to a slot attendant or a slot manager because I'm looking to see if you have a certain slot machine that I like to play. There's nothing wrong with that, and they will tell you, okay? Save yourself the trip of going out there and then having to make some kind of concession and play a game that you normally wouldn't play because they don't have the one you want. Not cool, right? So decide which casino you're going to go to, but make it based on the machines that you want to play. Remember, this is entertainment with the chance of winning some money. You got to pick the games that you want to play first, okay? All right, that's number three. Let's move on to number four. All right, number four, and this is the last step before entering a casino, is figure out your sessions. So what is a session exactly? So you're bringing $300 to the casino. That is not a session. That is your total budget. You need to break that down into some individual playtime sessions, okay? There's no better word for it. Take the 300 and maybe divide it into three, $100 each, or two, $150 each. But the idea here is to go down and play your session. Put all the money in the room, give it to your spouse, whatever the case is, your timed lockbox, and then only pull out the money for your session. So you're only playing off of $100 in session number one, for example. Pretend that is all the money you have. You don't have another $200 sitting aside. Ignore that. Just focus on the $100 that you have for that session and play the denomination that best fits that amount of money. So I'm thinking quarters up to 75 cents a spin, maybe $1 single pay line, $2 most I would do on $100. But that's where you should focus on doing, and then set little micro limits for yourself. Say, if I get this up to 150 or down to 50, I will stop my session. You can play it down to 0 too, that's fine. But here's the second part, and this is the critical part. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to take a break in between sessions. Go do something else. Go up to the room and chill for a while. Go to the restaurant, go to the pool, go to the spa, go to a show. Do something besides gambling in between sessions. And here's the reason why. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but there is something called euphoria, and that takes over the moment you start playing any kind of game of chance. Slot machines, table games, doesn't really matter. It impacts people in different ways, some more stronger than others, but euphoria is a very real thing. And what this is that feeling that you get when you sit down and start playing a game of chance where you feel like you're losing focus and losing control. Okay, so you had a plan that you put in place before going to the casino that we talked about, but it's starting to feel like it's going out the window. You're not paying attention to your plan, you're losing focus. You know, you've taken money out of your next session to bring down to this session, you've gone to the ATM, you've done a cash advance, whatever the case is. That's not good. That is no bueno. What the session breaks mean is it's bringing your brain back down to normal levels where that euphoria gets wiped out. And it's really critical and important because the psychological warfare that is going on inside of a casino is meant, all by design, the way that the games are meant to play out, the carpet, the music, the free play, the giveaways, all of that kind of stuff is there for one reason only, to keep you playing and to get you to ignore the things that you should be focusing on, okay? So taking that break will even you back out, and you can go back down on your next session and have a fresh start with your focus in mind, your plan in place, all that kind of stuff. I cannot emphasize, and I said this earlier, but I cannot emphasize how important breaks are. We've heard from countless people in the comments section, emails, everything like that, about how beneficial the breaks have been to them. And I really want you guys to try that the next time you go to the casino. It may be difficult because you may have a friend that's there saying, I want to keep playing. Just tell them, look, I'll watch. Or I can't watch because then I'll be tempted, so I'm just going to go up to my room. If they're a good friend, they will let you do that, okay? And that's what Dave and I do. Dave does that to me. I do it to him. If we end up wanting to take a break and do something else, we're like, okay, I'll see you whenever you're ready to play again. Okay, that's good. That's a good gambling buddy, but that's what you should focus on, is taking those breaks after each session. It's really critical, guys. All right, guys, so you've made it this far. You've created your plan. You've got your budget figured out. You've got your start-stop limits figured out. You figured out which casino you're going to go to, and finally you've got your sessions all laid out, what you're going to do. What do you do next? All right, so you're about to enter the casino, but first, if you like this kind of stuff, we would love a subscription or a thumbs up. YouTube tells me I need to do this, so... No, seriously, guys, if you do like this kind of stuff, we are here to help educate you to become better gamblers by talking about how all this stuff works, giving you the tools that you need for success in order to increase your chances of walking out with money. All of this stuff really works if you focus and put effort behind it, and that's what we talk about on this channel. All right, so we are off into the casino. What's the first thing you should do? Walk the casino floor. That's right. So as soon as you get in there, do not go straight to the first flashy machine you see and start playing it. You got to walk the casino floor. See what they have to offer. There may be a game that you didn't know they had. Maybe they just installed it since the last time you were there, or it's a new to you casino. I love walking into a casino I've never been in before because I never know what I'm going to find. There may be some game in there that I haven't played in ages that I want to play, but you want to decide that stuff before you sit down and start playing, because you want to allocate some of your funds for that, right? You want to be able to play what's entertaining to you. So walk the casino floor, see what they have to offer, and then make a list, okay? Dave and I do this all the time. We're like, oh, we're definitely going to be playing that wild cherry. Oh, there's double top dollar. You know we're going to play that. Make a list so you know when you're creating your sessions and you're executing those sessions that you're going to go and play the machines that you've wanted to play. So walk the casino floor, learn what it has to offer. That is number one whenever you walk into the casino. Let's get on to the next one. All right, so we need to talk about volatility a little bit. And this is the decision that you actually have inside of the casino. You are not able to spot by playing or by looking at a slot machine to determine what payback percentage that machine is set at. You do not have that ability, I promise you. What you do have the ability over is picking the machine that fits the type of risk reward that you are comfortable with, okay? And it's called volatility. Even though a low volatility game and a high volatility game may have the same payback percentage setting, the way that it gets there is much different, okay? A low volatility game, slow and steady wins, but giving up those big progressives, those big bonus round potentials, okay? So think of those games as ones that you can get a lot more spins in on, okay? The high volatility is the opposite end of that spectrum. These are the games like huff and puff, huff and more puff, huff and extra puff, huff and huff and huff and huff and huff. Too much huff and puffs, and they're getting more and more volatile as they go on. But those are the high volatility games, okay? Which means that it could take a significant bankroll to even get the bonus round. Yes, the bonus rounds can be very lucrative sometimes. We've seen some great ones, right? Especially when you get the mansion bonus, crazy, right? But getting there, it can be very difficult and requires a lot of bankroll to withstand the big swings that you're going to experience during those games. So what is our recommendation? Well, our recommendation is to always start on the low volatility to try to build your bankroll up a little bit. And if you do, then maybe you can make that decision to take those winnings and play a high volatility game and push your risk a little bit. But that's up to you to decide. A lot of people like to stay completely on low volatility, and some people like to only play the high volatility, where they're comfortable with, look, my budget's $300, I'm going to go in and play high volatility, and if I don't get it, I leave. That's okay. But don't do that and then go to the ATM and get more money because you're chasing that bonus. That's what high volatility kind of leads people to do, because they didn't get the bonus round. They want to get the bonus round. If I can just get the bonus round and get back to even, you know where I'm going with that, right? So pick what is best for you. Our recommendation is always start on the low volatility and go from there. All right, on to the next one. All right, it is decision time, guys. You are sitting at a game and you're doing well. You are winning a little bit, whether it's on a table game or it's on a slot machine. There are two paths that you can take, and it's going to be completely up to you which one you want to take. Dave and I do both depending on how we're feeling. Number one is to bank any wins that you end up making. Okay, so if your original bankroll session was $100 and you get it up to $50, take that $50 and go hide it away. Put it in a lockbox, give it to your spouse, put it in your room in the safe, whatever the case is. Bank that win of $50 and then continue to play off that 100. And then if you keep doing it, just keep putting that money away. So you'll at least be walking away with something, right? Okay, that is the first decision. The second decision could be, you know what? I want to play that high volatility game over there, or I want to play a $5 machine instead of $1. You can certainly do that off of your winnings, okay? But if you decide to do this, what you need to do is take your original bankroll and put it in the safe, or put it in the lockbox, or give it to the spouse, whatever, and then play that risky machine off of your winnings only. Do not eat into your bankroll when you're doing that. That is the critical part, okay? I've done both of these things. I've had a night where I've worked $1,000 up to $1,800. So what did I do? I put that $1,000 away. I'm going home with $1,000, which is what I came with. Awesome, okay? That means that I can play off that 800 and not be stressed out and worried about what potentially may happen to it, because I'm happy to have that much entertainment. Now, if I'm saving up for something, let's say I want to go buy a new iPhone or something like that, then I would take that 800 and just leave. But this is in situations where I kind of want to just have some fun tonight. It's my birthday, it's my anniversary, or whatever the case is. We're playing with you guys. That's when you should do it, is when you are banking off of your winnings or you're playing off of your winnings. So take those winnings, go play a high volatility game, go raise your bet, do whatever you want to do, but do not go back to your bankroll. That is, the decision is over, okay, at that point. You should not go back to your bankroll and try to do the bankroll building again. I think you're going to end up losing that original bankroll, and that's not what we want, right? So usually those decisions should be made as soon as you start winning something. But you can do it at any time, whatever is most comfortable with you. But those are the two paths that you should take and the controls that you should put in place for each of them. Okay, makes sense? Let's get on to the next one. All right, we got to get a little serious, because this is always the elephant in the room and people do not like to talk about it. But we need to be very open and honest with each other when it comes to gambling. It is very easy sometimes to lose control and to start making very bad decisions in the casino, whereas going to the ATM, doing cash advances, check cashing, whatever the case is, eating into money that you shouldn't have brought with you or had access to in the first place. It's going to happen to some people, and it's okay. We don't want you to beat yourself up about it, but you have to put controls in place. And there are several things you can do. Have a gambling buddy. You know, take a buddy and tell him what your plan is, and make sure that you tell him, be aggressive with me. If it looks like I'm chasing too much, or I keep going into the wallet to put more money into that machine, come and tell me to stop, okay? Pull me away. Tell me it's time to go do something else. That's good. That's good behavior inside of a casino, and that is gambling smart. You need to put controls in place, however you do it, to prevent yourself from going crazy. Most people need to not go to the casino with any ATM cards or anything that can get them cash, because you got to remember, casinos are very welcoming, and they will do it with a smile on their face at the cashier's table or at the cashier's desk to give you anything you want. Oh, you got a credit card? No problem. How much do you want? Right? It's not them. They are there to get as much money out of you as possible, either through the ATM, the cashier's cage, or the just playing machines and table games and stuff. That's their goal, is to keep you playing as long as possible. You got to put controls in place to prevent that. They are not babysitting you. They are not your financial advisors. They don't know your financial situation. They can't even ask you, okay? So you got to put controls in place. Now, if it gets very serious to the point where you continuously go to the casino and make these mistakes, then it might be time to quit completely. And if you need help with that, we will put a number and also a website down in the description below. These guys are great. You can live chat with them, you can email them, you can call them, 100% free, 100% confidential. They will help you through gambling issues, okay? They're not going to tell you, oh, you just need to go in frequently. They're going to help you to stop gambling. And sometimes that is the decision that you need to make, okay? Let's be real. Gambling can be a slippery slope for a lot of people, and you need to know when it's that time for you. And don't feel embarrassed. A lot of us have gone through it. It would be way worse if you just ignored it and continued to keep going, because the cardinal rule is the longer you play, the more you're going to lose. And that is certainly true. And nothing is worse than if you become addicted to gambling, because then it's a never-ending cycle until you have exhausted all accesses of cash. And that is bad. We don't want to see that. So if you think it's getting bad, do something about it, okay? Reach out to those people, get a gambling buddy, put some measures in place, but you got to do something. You can't just let it keep going, okay? So that out of the way, let's talk about some more fun stuff. All right, let's say you're lucky enough to get a Handpay, okay? We all want it, but you shouldn't chase it, right? Like, it's just going to happen eventually. Even if you play a dollar machine or a penny machine, eventually you might get a Handpay. What should you do with that? Number one, take taxes out, okay? If you are not a heavy gambler, you must take taxes out. That is 30%, well, 24%, but it might be more because of the state that you're in. That is tax you will have to pay. It counts as income, and it's gambling income, so it's taxed even worse. So you need to be very aware of that. And if you take the taxes out at the time that you get that Handpay, then you will not have to worry about taxes at all when it comes to that money. I know it's tempting, especially that $1,200 Handpay when it's right at the limit. It's tempting to just take it and say, I'll worry about the taxes later. But that's like $300 that you're going to have to deal with next time you file taxes. Take the money out, okay? You don't want to worry about taxes. Now, the other side of that, Handpay, what should you do with that money? Put it back into the machine? You know what we're going to say. No, Handpay money should always go in your lockbox, okay? That should just go home with you, because that is a rare event in some situations, especially if you're playing low like we do. That's a rare event. Celebrate it. Go home, buy something, do something fun with that money besides gambling, because as you've heard, if you've ever had a Handpay before, what do the slot attendants always say when they give you the Handpay? Oh, we'll see you in a bit. Oh, keep going. Hope your luck improves. Hope you get a bigger one next time. Tell them, no, I'm going up to my room and locking this money up. Try telling them that, see what their reaction is. So, that's what you should be doing with your Handpay money. Treat it as icing on the cake. Good stuff, right? Celebrate that. Put it away. Take the taxes out. No pressure. All right, next one. All right, so why do we make such a big deal about educating yourselves about all this stuff works? You're putting money on the line, guys. Why would you not want to understand how everything is working in that situation? I would never sit at a blackjack table if I've never played blackjack and I don't understand the rules of the game and then put my own money on it. I would never do that. And so we feel like if you understand how slot machines work, how they're programmed, how the compliance works, all the things that we talk about on this channel, it'll help you to be able to better focus on the things that you actually have control over. So many people get caught up in all of the myths with slot machines. When is the best time of day to play? Should I play after a holiday, before a holiday? What about on the weekends? Should I change the volume? Does that increase my chances? What about fast stopping? Does that increase my chances? What about betting max? Does that increase my... Guys, all that stuff is a distraction to what you should be focusing on, and that is everything that we highlighted in this video. If you do that, then I assure you, you will become a better gambler, because you know that all of this stuff is heavily regulated, that there's no funny business going on. I know you guys, some of you guys are completely convinced that the casinos can manipulate the machines to pay when they want, pay how many jackpots per day, all that kind of stuff. I know you guys are completely convinced of that, but I'm telling you, it's not possible in any kind of licensed casino. And I really wish that they would come out, and I'm talking about I'm talking about the compliance officers, the casinos, the manufacturers. I wish they would all come out on camera publicly and tell you that. It's a secretive industry. I don't understand why we're trying to change that, but I'm telling you, this is what I know because I've been on the inside. I'm telling you now because this is the only way I can present this information. These things are so heavily regulated, guys. Casinos do not have the level of control that you think they do. They need to make sure, and by law and by compliance, and this stuff is audited, that every time you press that spin button, it is a completely random event. And that is true for everybody. It doesn't matter who's playing. It doesn't matter if your card's in or not, all that kind of stuff. Nobody knows what's going to come next when you press that spin button. Not you, not the casino, not the manufacturer, nobody. Okay, so take that into your brain and just remember that simple fact. Okay, now, after you've done that, go back and practice the stuff that we talked about on this video. You will become a better gambler if you put all of these things in place and you prevent the casino from overtaking your mind, because that is what their business is. They are in it for the money, and the way they get money is to get you in there and keep you playing as long as possible. And unless you put stops in place to say, you know what, nope, I am up 20 bucks, I am leaving, I'm taking my 20 bucks elsewhere. Unless you do that, they will win 100% of the time. And I don't want to hear anybody complaining, well, the casino robbed me again. No, they did not. You robbed yourself. Casinos they're there to make money, guys. These are all money makers. Slot machines, table games, everything. There is nothing you can play that gives the casino that gives you the edge over the casino 100% of the time. They are in it for making money. They're games of chance. But if you are strong enough to stop at certain points and to walk away, you guys win a lot more than you think. You just end up putting it all back in. I know I'm talking to a lot of you out there. So just try to think about that, okay? And watch this video before you go to the casino, because I think it might help refresh your mind on what it is that you need to be doing to increase your chances of walking out a winner. We really do believe that. We've heard it from people. We've done it ourselves. It has completely changed our game, and it can happen to you too. All right, guys. As always, gamble smart, gamble safe. We sure do appreciate you. And as always, we will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.